is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Oh, welcome to DBL. I'm Sam in for Tori. Got a new haircut, looking fly.
Yeah, you look good. I'm all cut.
It looks so cute.
Thanks.
All the hairs?
All the hairs. Yeah, all the hairs.
Every single one.
It's getting a little long, so I just decided to give it a...
You feel good? Feel fresh? Friday Junior, now do you feel fresh?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cute. All right, let's talk about this. CNN has some new poll numbers are out, and I can't wait to hear all of your thoughts. President Biden is not doing well. Nearly half, or 46% of registered voters say that any Republican presidential nominee would be a better choice than Biden. His job approval number stands at just 39%. 58% say they have an unfavorable impression of him, and 67% say the party should nominate someone else. So what do you all think of this new poll? And then really quickly, Jeff, and I'm going to start with you, because you always say here, why do we have Trump and Biden as our only choices? And I think a lot of Americans feel the same way, but I think this is interesting. 73% of Americans, this is the concerns about Biden, 73% of Americans say they're concerned with Biden's age, 76 are concerned will he be able to serve out another full term, and 68% are concerned about his ability to understand the concerns of the younger generation.
When you were reading that, you said Biden isn't doing well, and you gave a slight pause, and for a second, I was like, I knew what the story was about. And my first thought was health. And I knew what the story was about, as a poll story. I think everyone's first thought is, if you said Biden isn't doing well, their first thought would be, is he okay? What happened to him? Not, he's not doing well in the polls. I think that's just an honest answer of what people think. Then, if you break it up into Democrat and Republican, people are like, you're ageist, you shouldn't be thinking that. He's perfectly capable of doing his job. What's our second choice? Trump? I'm sick of that answer. I'm sick of saying, I want this guy in who clearly doesn't know what's going on. Clearly. You could hate me, whatever you want. He's falling down all over the place. They'll never get him on stage for a debate. I don't want someone like that running our country. You know why? Because people behind the scenes are puppeting him and doing things probably that he doesn't want to do. He's already a flip-flopper on decisions his whole life. Okay, whatever it is, whether it's gay rights or whatever, he's flip-flop on that before.
Or has he evolved?
Or has he just learned how to be a politician, right? And just say yes to everything. So as long as his hand works and he could sign bills, Democrats are going to want him in the office. Okay, I understand this is a harsh reality of things. Why not get two new candidates? Why not get someone on the left side that's better? Why not get someone on the right side that represents anything other than pandemonium? Let's get some two candidates in there with new blood, and let's change this perception of what everyone thinks the United States is these days.
They try that, Jeff, and people don't rally behind them. You have to think, when we start talking about voting, older folks always first to the polls. It's been like that since we started this country, and they tend to, they don't really worry as much about age. When there is a new young candidate, they tried this with Obama, it's like, well, he's young, he doesn't know what he's doing. You need somebody with experience, and we're right back to where we started. And in terms of the candidates, they keep trying to throw new candidates out, but people only nerds like us are invested in politics. So you just go with the name you know Trump from The Apprentice, Biden from being Obama's vice president, and name recognition is like 90% of it. Why else would we be talking about RFK? He would just be some dude if it wasn't for his last name. And we're still talking about the Kennedys. We still talk about the Clintons, the Bushes, because there's only like 6 names people recognize. And unfortunately, I agree with your point that we need new candidates, but when we get them out there, no one supports them. And we're right back to where we were. Well, let's just get a name we know. Because you can put Clinton, Bush, Trump, anything on a driveway banner, and people know who it is.
Yeah, I think just the fact that we're having this conversation right now shows what percentage of Americans are truly apathetic. Yeah. Because whether you vote or not, there's still so much apathy. Right. It's like, okay, well, why don't we? These are the two candidates, but why don't we get new candidates? We've been saying this for decades. Why is it always the same status quo? Why is it always the same names? Why are they always coming from the same place? A big answer to that question is experience, is the best teacher. So it's not as though like these people have just been thrown in. When we're talking about age, I don't think that age is really about the number. I think age is about the perception, because none of them are spring chickens, okay? So it's true.
That's a good point, yeah.
So I feel like when we say like, why don't we do this? There's no action behind it. And that's the reason why nothing gets done.
Right.
It's because it's all talk.
Right.
So if that's what we're going to do is talk,
I
then
do
that's what
think
we
a
can
lot
do.
of the younger candidates are biding their time, because if you run too early, you know, the powers that be are like, Jeff, it's not your turn to run, even though you're a young senator with some heat behind you, and you can tank your career.
But that's up to the dean. That's what frustrates me when it comes to the bureaucracy of it all and the establishment Democrats and Republicans, where they say, okay, Nikki Haley does show the highest lead, not underneath Trump, but by beating Biden. Let's be real. She's never going to be the nominee. It's going to be Trump and it's going to be Biden. The popular vote 4 years ago was with Bernie Sanders amongst amongst progressives, which outnumbered the Democrats. But at the end of the day, the DNC pushed Biden in there. So, and that happened in 2016 as well. With Hillary. So I don't think, yes, apathy 1,000%, but at the same time, we, the people, our hands are tied by these politicians that are running their own ring.
Yeah,
None of us matter, and it's frustrating.
And as a constituent, the best case scenario is for you to run on is, I'm the lesser of two evils. That's your best case scenario. That's what you're bringing to the table. At least I'm not that guy.
Right.
Vote for me. That's what you're bringing to the table. That's America.
And there's the apathy you talk about. That's where it comes from.
Well, good conversation. We'll continue it during the break. Coming up on DBL, Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner's divorce has sparked a gender debate. Should fathers really get praise for doing the bare minimum? And our interview with TV host Maria Menounos, she gets candid with us about her battle with pancreatic cancer and how she is inspiring others. Hello. Yeah, listen, it's just frustrating because we can complain all we want, but it's going to be Biden and Trump. So it's going to boil down to whose policies do you align with.
Right, and I think you were talking about the DNC. I think each one of these parties, both Democrat and Republican, because we saw it with Bernie, especially in 2016 when he had more support than Hillary did at the time. A lot of people think he would have been a better challenger for Trump than Hillary.
I still think he would have won.
I think
I'm
I think,
right there with you.
But you can't control him. He was an independent. He's not beholden to the Democratic Party. So
But the people would have voted for him.
Right.
The party is the one that
people
kept them out.
always
And I don't know anything about politics. That's just my assumption. of
That's
what
the whole
happens.
point, Jeff.
The DNC
You don't know anything about politics, so you just vote. I just vote. Erica and Sam just vote. And we're like, okay, we like Bernie. And then all of a sudden there's some weird rule about super delegates. I think it was the super delegates that
In
each state,
2016.
to push Hillary over Bernie, even though the popular vote. Trump lost the popular vote and still became president. Bush, the first time, apparently lost. No, not apparently. He lost the popular vote to Gore, and he still became the president, which led to a very unpopular war.
Right.
The people speak all the time, but our votes are then swallowed up by some weird, oh, there's a rule, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's so
You're from
frustrating.
Chicago, so like you have delegates that only every other Tuesday count, and people get frustrated and they walk away because they're like, I voted for this candidate a few times and it doesn't seem to do anything.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's the same thing with like gun control. When the majority
To have that explained.
Welcome back. The split between Joe Jonas and Game of Thrones actress Sophie Turner is sparking a battle of the sexes. So after news of their impending divorce broke, some tabloids claim Sophie's parting was to blame, while Joe was labeled a homebody who likes to take care of the kids. Some outlets have been praising Joe for being in quote-unquote dad mode, but people online say that's just because we set the bar so low when it comes to fathers. Meantime, the Jonas brothers shared a group hug on stage during their show in Phoenix last night. It was their first concert since news of the divorce officially broke. What do you think, Al? You're a father to 3. Do you think that we were unfairly, meaning we as in society unfairly, kind of immediately coined Sophie Turner as this narrative of being the party mom? And do you think that dad's the bar is so low?
Well, we need a narrative, Sam. How are we going to look at this if we don't decide who's the worst person in the world in this situation? And you either Sophie Turner is an axe murderer or he is a propagandist that is trying to bury his wife. And I mean, honestly, we keep hearing from the tabloids, but we're not hearing a lot of nasty stuff coming directly from them. We're hearing, you know, that you know, we want, you know, our own time. You know, he is not trashed her on social media, and vice versa. So I do think that we need a narrative because it's really about men and women kind of want to go at it and bicker with each other on social media. That's what this is about. I don't think this has much to do with them, Eric.
Yeah, well, it's all about how it affects us. It's all about our experiences. Like, especially if you're looking at it as a person who's gone through a divorce or is currently going through a divorce, then it's very personal to you because you can take a segment of this story and be like, I remember when I did this and he did that and he got all the credit. And, you know, it's like, so you're always looking at it through your own narrative. Like, at the end of the day, these are 2 young people and they have a very young family. They're very successful. They seemingly have the ability to do this amicably. No one wants to see that.
But
people
how would
want
you
to see blood.
Totally. Yeah. People want to see blood.
Especially
But how
the
would you
lawyers.
feel? I know as a mother, someone that is a homebody, if I was going to partier, I would be devastated. Because to me, the main thing to me is being a mom. But on the flip side, how would you feel when people are like, oh, give me a break, Joe Jonas, you're not a good dad? Like, that hurts too.
Yeah, yesterday I said I don't think there's much to this story. I think they were just 2 young kids that got married too early, and now they're figuring things out with a giant spotlight on them. But the country that we live in right now, I mean, it was a microcosm in that meeting this morning. People were taking sides blindly just by what they read, and then they were going to websites to feed their narrative. It's exactly what's going on in this country, whether it's politics, whether it's race, whether it's sex, whatever it is. People just jump on a side, they blindly defend their side, and then they find narratives everywhere on the internet to defend it. And then people just start fighting with each other, and all of a sudden, we're fighting about Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day?
Yeah,
Right.
it's how we make a living, Joe.
I mean, come on, there's other ways, you know?
He was alluding to all this different stuff, whether it was in interviews or on TikTok, where it showed Sophie Turner as the homebody, just to go against the narrative.
I know, just say, like, at the end, you're like, me and Sam got in a fight. About what? Joe Jonas? Like, let's get a hold of it.
All right, quickly, we're going to move on to another celebrity split. A judge has ordered Kevin Costner's ex to pay up. Christine Baumgartner was ordered to pay more than $14,000 in attorney fees for Kevin after challenging the spousal support section of their prenuptial agreement. This comes after a judge sided with Kevin and awarded her only $63,000 a month in child
Who
support.
can raise a kid on that?
As opposed to $175,000 that she wanted. Speak to me about this whole divorce thing. Who's in the wrong here? The attorneys, her, Kevin?
I think she came off looking really bad and really greedy. It seemed like she had a pretty amicable arrangement. She went for a little bit more after the ironclad prenup, got it, and she was like, no, I'm going to shoot another 3-pointer. And she went for it, and Erica, big swings, big misses. Now she's got to pay the legal fees for going after that. And, you know, I'm assuming she has some hefty ones of her own, and she got it cut in half.
Yeah, well, you live, you learn.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this situation, it's almost like you can't blame her for trying, but ultimately, I'm just more of a person that's like, you get with someone, clearly they're doing better than from whence you came. figure out a way to make something work for yourself while things are good. Like, no one thinks about the big picture, that this life is very long. And I understand there's a lot of people like her who are in golden cage situations. And if you're in a golden cage, they want you to rent the cage. They don't want you to own your own cage. And a lot of people get caught up in situations like that. But at the end of the day, I think that this is a learning lesson for a lot of people on Instagram saying, I just want a man to take care of me. No, you don't.
Coming up on DBL, TV host Maria Menounos shares how her perspective on life changed after beating cancer. That's next. Welcome back to DBL. She is a woman who can take a hit and keep on thriving. Earlier, we spoke with TV host, cancer survivor, and new mom, Maria Menounos. Take a look.
You recently posted about the struggles you've had the past 6 years, from your benign brain tumor to losing your mom, I'm so sorry, to your pancreatic cancer diagnosis. I wanted to ask you specifically, because you bring this up, about food in your journey. Speak to us about how important it is through all those ups and downs.
Well, Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine. I think we've strayed a little bit from that. And the more you watch TV and you see commercials, you're like, oh, we've really strayed from that. I think food is a really big part of the journey, but also what's in between here. And I think this might even be the biggest, guys. It's our thoughts. It's what we believe. It's not having control of our thoughts, and not having an undisciplined mind is really, really a big part of what manifests in our bodies, right? It's allowing so much stress into our lives. And I did for so many years. You know, our health is an accumulation of kind of poor choices along the way. Yes, there are some things that are genetic. Yes, there are things that we can't control. But for me, I watched my life trying to keep up with my schedule, eating fast food, not taking care of myself. It all eventually took its toll. When I started to get healthy, it was a little bit too late. So this is what I do here on my show, Heal Squad, every single day. I'm sounding the alarms for everyone. Please don't let it become too late. A little autoimmune condition isn't just a little autoimmune condition. It's the beginning. It's the gateway to everything. You cannot just go to the doctor, take a pill, and go home. You have to be the CEO of your health. You have to manifest the life that you want, which is why I'm partnering with RX Bars to create these Manifest Bars, so that you can have an accountability partner every single day. You can write down what you want in your life every single day on these bars and keep yourself on track so that you can achieve them. And I had someone on my show recently who said, when you write your goals down, you are 42% more likely to achieve them. That's a big stat for me.
Maria, I say that on this show all the time. My old boss was so into goal setting and all that, and he passed it along to me. I totally believe in all that stuff, but for a different time, I guess, huh? We'll talk about it. But let's talk about you. You're in remission now, congratulations. But when you heard pancreatic cancer for the first time, what was your thought? What was going through your head, speaking of your thoughts?
So we had just found out that we were pregnant with Athena, let's say a few months before.
Jeez.
When I heard that there was a tumor on my pancreas, I instantly thought I was a goner, and I said that out loud to the radiologist. Went right to my primary doctor, got an MRI, and then when it was confirmed, he and I were crying in the waiting room together, and my husband was just like, "We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine." And the next day, my husband and I were in the fetal position, just in bed crying, because all you know, or I knew about pancreas tumors, is you're dead. This is it. They take you so quickly. So I had to use my tools to get out of that sunken place very fast, because you're going to get hit, like you said, but it's about how much you can take and keep moving forward. How long are you going to stay down before you get up and you fight and you push and you try?
That's remarkable. The power of thought is clearly life-changing. You are an example of that. Something we have to talk about. You recently welcomed your daughter after years of infertility. I so applaud you for being vulnerable. You are single-handedly helping break that stigma. So as a fellow mom who remembers the newborn stage, what's the hardest part of motherhood for you right now, and how are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Listen, I feel so blessed to finally have her, that anything that is hard right now is so small. And honestly, I didn't have to carry her. I didn't have to push her out. I don't have postpartum. I am having a much easier journey than the average mom, and I recognize that. But for me, it's just been the most joyous time of my life. I've never been happier. Everyone who sees me just sees that I'm just so happy being a mom. It's the greatest thing I've ever
Look
happened.
at you. You're going to make me cry. Your eyes, your smile. I mean, you can just see the gratitude all over you. That is beautiful. DBL Nation, to learn more about RX bars, visit their website. Also, you can enter for a chance to win Maria's limited edition RX bars. Maria, honestly, thank you so much for today. I'm speechless. You're incredible. You are. We'll be right back. Thank you, Maria.
Steph, what do you have for us today?
Hey Tori, hi DBL Nation. I am so excited to show you all the deals today. And believe me, they are great. So let's check them out. We've got the Evatronic 11-inch 2K Wi-Fi digital photo frame.
Oh, wow.
This deal includes one photo frame that can display pictures, videos, the temperature, and more. You can easily add photos and videos to the frame with a convenient app through email, with a TF card, a USB drive, or with the included USB cable. Normally this is $170. We've got it for $59.99. That is saving 65%. Now check out this, Tori. We've got the Terry Pro Digital Hot Brush Smoothing System. This deal includes one straightening brush. We've got it available in either this beautiful purple or blue. This is ideal for all hair types, and it's perfect for those who might be new to heat styling. So normally this is $95. We, however, have got it for $24.99. That's saving 74%. Now check out this. We've got the Dash 1.75 quart Greek yogurt maker.
Whoa!
Tried to sound American there. Yogurt. This deal includes one base, one lid, one small container, one large container, and one strainer. Normally it's $50.
Don't love that.
We've got it for just $20.
I love that.
That's saving 60%. Check out our last product today, Tori. It's the Home Eco electric spin scrubber with 5 brush heads.
Oh, wow.
So this deal includes one scrubber, it's got 5 brush heads, and it comes with a storage hook. And normally this is $90. We have it for just $25.99, which is saving 71%.
Very nice. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices always, or you can even scan the QR code right on screen to take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph.
Well, DBL's new every day. We will see you same time, same place tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day, everybody.